and welcome to another installment of TEDXcellence, where the real mystery is the hair up there. And I'm coming to you live from my Corona bunker on the moon with Dog Cat Fox, a necessary pepperjack, I think, and joining me today, the wonderful Weebo.
Hello.
Yes, Weebo Jones joining us once again. Weebo, how are you on this day after Christmas?
I think they call it Boxing Day in other parts of the world. I don't
only communists call it that.
Oh, is that the case?
Yeah.
Well, someone better go tell Polly.
But sure. But anyway, how are you?
I'm doing.
You get any good Christmas presents?
I got a whole spice rack to myself. Like
Ooh,
a rack
spicy.
of spices with the spices included in the spice rack. So I don't have to go out and buy spices myself. I just have all of them just in assorted containers, and it's great.
Oh, so now you're Weebo extra spicy.
Oh yeah, I'm extra spicy, but I was always spicy. So
well,
if it gets too much, let me know.
Weebo, this isn't that kind of show. Now, settle down. Hello, everyone. Hope you're all having a good day. It's been a exciting last day or so, I suppose, with Christmas and the holidays and all that fun stuff. So I hope you're all well and happy and safe and all that good stuff. But what do we have on docket today? Well, as I was telling Weebo just before the stream started, this one caught my attention not only for the title, but admittedly for the speaker's appearance, which was unique, to say the least. And we'll see more of that momentarily. But before we get there, who's joining us on this adventure today? That would be Check Your Logic, hello. Matt Barnes, hello. Tux Mint, hello. Asian Hippie, hello. Zach Osborne, hello. Raziel, hello. Keenan, hello. Chicago Mike, hello. Wade Wilson, hello. Jake Tungseth, hello. Sean Uli, hello. Scientrology, hello. Dr. Keeve, hello. Tia Ferdix, hello. Tall Person, thank you so much. Happy National Candy Cane Day, everybody. Thank you, Tall Person. It's odd that Candy Cane Day would be the day after Christmas, but all right. Mr. E, hello. Crimson Tiger, hello. Gundam Brutus, hello. Pink Owl, the Driving Ape Man, thank you so much. Will Bars. Jonathan Peterson, hello. Nobody Not Me, hello. Dagger 3K, hello. Mirai Vegeta, hello. Let's see. Killer Turnus, hello. And then chat jump, because of course it did. Eric Grunstatter, hello. Logan, hello. Pear D Bear, hello. Moonbase Security, hello. Advocatus Diaboli, hello. This is Kyle. Thank you so much. Hello, chat people, scribbles, and Rebar. Hello, Kyle.
Hello.
St. Michael, hello. Healer Owned, hello. And I think that's everyone at present. If I've missed someone, I do apologize. Michael Hatfield, hello. Avoid them McCoys. All right. So what is the title of today's wonderful, exciting adventure into something or other? Why we need disruptive leadership. It's time for a rebelution.
No.
Now, by no design of mine, the last TEDxcellence was also on the subject of leadership. So I guess it's just a leadership series. We'll see if I do another one like that in the near future. But with all that being said, and not knowing at all what this is about to entail, aside from the title, let us proceed. We'll start off with a few seconds for sound test. You guys tell me if you can hear it, and then we'll go. Weebo, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, let's learn stuff.
Wee.
Was sitting in the chair
What?
as those words hit my heart like a tsunami.
What words were those? In a chair.
Question.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a mystery. We'll find out momentarily. I forgot to mention bingo card. Today's bingo card is card C. C as in calamity. You can find that link in the description below. Get your bingo card ready. We'll hopefully get a bingo so I can play my new bingo sound for Weebo. Let's see. Dr. Keefe says, you missed Leo. I missed Leo? Oh, Leo Prime 75. That one, sir, is Tanya. God of Plague. Anybody else? Let's see. What the feck is that? Yeah, what did I miss? Sounds good. Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Really crappy green screen behind her.
Yeah, so ever since the pandemic, TEDx's come in about three varieties. Either one, you've got somebody standing on a stage like usual TEDx. with probably a very sparse, if at all, audience. You have people at like large outdoor events where there's probably a mile between them and anybody actually watching. And then you have these at-home Zoom call and or self-chroma keyed presentations, and I believe this is one of those.
I also have another question.
Yes.
Like, so when the people at TED or TEDx or whatever generate a TED talk, it's like when it's normally not in coronavirus times, they just send out invitations to a whole bunch of people for their general live audience to have in studio? Or
so the one time that I looked up, and I don't know if this is common throughout, because like when you're talking about TEDx, they're like, as they say, individually organized little events. My understanding, at least from the one I looked at, was there is in your local community, there is a TEDx like message board, let's say, and they'll put out a thing saying, we're going to hold an event on, this date. And so we need submissions around this theme. Like usually TEDx events are around a theme. They'll have like a phrase or some kind of saying, and then each one of the presentations kind of, attaches to that in some way. And so the one that I saw was post the entire script of your presentation amongst the community. We will read them and then we will vote on them. And then the top whatever number will be the ones that we invite to come to the event. And so that's how I saw one TEDx organized, but then I guess it varies from organization to organization. As far as the official TED Talks, I assume they're far more professionally put together and that kind of thing. I don't know. So yeah, the TEDx ones are usually community-based. I don't know what their standards are otherwise. That was just the one thing I looked at. So, all right. But anyway, wait, no one knows. She's asking about the audience scribe light.
Like, yeah.
Did I completely misunderstand you?
Yeah, kind of.
I completely misunderstood you. Great. I don't know. I don't know how the audiences work. I assume invites go out or some kind of. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore.
So just like a pool of audience members that they just pick out of a hat, and they're like, "All right, it's your turn. You're up. Come to this thing."
Oh well, now the audience. I've seen a few TEDx's where the audience had to have been paid for, because there was this one I did not a couple, maybe I guess it's 2 years ago now, where the guy was essentially using TEDx as a sales pitch stage.
Oh.
And he made like terrible jokes, like not like they were like offensive or something. They were just completely flat, right? But you would have thought the audience just got hit with laughing gas because he was the funniest thing on the planet. I was just like, oh my, you guys are bought and paid for. You guys are bought and paid for. So anyway, she was sitting in a chair. She heard those words, whatever they were, and they hit her like a tsunami. Let's see. Dr. Keefe, Scribelight, is the title a new buzz phrase? No, again, I can't go off of the title because those can be put in by the people who run the TEDx YouTube channel. I have to have the speaker tell us. It has to be the content of the talk itself that we base the bingo card off of. So that's the rule that I've imposed.
Yeah, guys, that's the rule.
Tsunami, and then?
It was almost as if the wind had been taken out of my chest.
Uh-huh.
I didn't have words to respond.
To what?
I simply sat there.
She looks so unsettling.
On the other end of the phone,
everything about her.
Sonia, when are you going to finally believe that you're enough?
What? Okay, I feel like I'm coming into a David Lynch movie or something. Who are you? Who's talking to you? What's going on? I presume she's going to be, enlightening us here momentarily. Otherwise, I'm going to circle leaves out vital context because I have absolutely no idea where we're at right now. Okay, so you're sitting in a chair. Somebody said something to you over the phone, and then somebody asked you, when do you think you're going to be worth enough or something? Okay.
And those words opened a door.
What?
And a window.
And
a place I'd never been.
A door and a window.
Before.
Does the door have a window, or are they two separate things?
No. You misunderstood. A door and a window. So 2 separate entities side by side,
Okay.
presumably.
Okay. Those words, the words of when are you going to realize you're worth something?
You're enough.
Who is talking to you?
To a place I'd never been able to see myself in before.
What? Okay.
And as I finally found a little whisper to respond as the tears streamed down my face.
You know what this reads like to me? Kind of like some asshole's memoirs or whatever, where they were trying to be obnoxiously verbose.
Deep, sentimental, meaningful.
They're trying to be like extra with their verbiage, and she don't need that.
Well, we don't even know what she's talking about yet. I'd like some words that tell us what the hell is going on.
Hi, I took creative writing in high school too, ma'am. I know
I
what's
did.
going on.
Hell, my whole degree is based on creative writing. Okay, here we go.
This is the hook. She's trying to pull us in.
I think her hair is the hook, honestly.
Today.
Today is when you're going to believe you're enough.
Today.
And what day was that? What were the circumstances?
I believe it was a Wednesday.
Okay, it was a Wednesday.
It was a Wednesday.
And looking back now, I realize that was the moment that I actually started to take my leap to become a rebel leader.
Okay, again, I am really going to need some context here.
It's a Star Wars reference, obviously. She is a rebel leader for the rebellion against the Empire, and she single-handedly avenged Alderaan. What don't you understand?
Yeah, a lot.
Leading up to that moment, I had a lot of scraps and pieces of my life. I didn't know how to describe them.
I'm getting that. I'm getting you don't know how to describe things because
I'm really enjoying this Star Wars analogy because she definitely looks like a Star Wars alien.
Now, see, on the thumbnail, I wanted to write Rebels in the Star Wars font, but all the Star Wars fonts I found, if I type out the word Rebels or Rebel, it all runs together in like this weird block because all the letters try to connect themselves to each other. Yeah, and it just looks bizarre. And I was like, dang it. Because I really thought, because I really wanted to make that that connection, but just I'm too much of a perfectionist. Just couldn't do it. Anyway, okay, you're a rebel leader with your. I mean, you do look like you might be from a Star Wars movie. I'll give you that.
At the time. But when we think of a quilt,
what
and how a quilt comes,
think of a quilt now.
It suddenly starts to make sense to me.
Redirect your imagery from a door and a window to a quilt.
Okay, you're sitting in a chair. Somebody says, when are you going to believe that you're worth enough? And then a door and a window opens, and now we're a quilt. This is a David Lynch movie.
Because a quilt starts with pieces.
Yes.
Yes.
Oftentimes, they were scrap pieces.
Yes.
To be brought together.
Sometimes.
To become new and something beautiful.
Yeah.
That's not you.
Passed around. They're traditions. They're homemade, typically.
Sure.
There's a lot of story in a quilt.
Maybe.
I'm not getting a lot of the story, though. Can you go into more detail?
Story of things that we would typically toss away or dismiss.
It depends on the quilt. Like my baby blanket, my baby quilt is made up of different patches. Because what happened was all the ladies in the neighborhood at the time each made a square to for my mother to celebrate my oncoming arrival. Because my mother had a lot of difficulty in having children prior to me coming along, 3 miscarriages and a bunch of other stuff. And so it was very celebratory. So I got this little baby blanket that's made up of different patches that different people made as a congratulations kind of thing. So sure, that can tell a story of a fashion, or you can have, like you say, just scrap pieces left over that you knit together into a blanket, because what else are you going to do with the scrap pieces? They don't necessarily have a story, but they're just leftovers. But okay, where are we going with this? Thank you, Pecoraro Driving 8 Man. Maybe the Galactic Empire wasn't wrong. Man, sometimes I tell you. Okay, so lady, I'm really trying hard to give you the benefit of the doubt that this is going to make sense at some point, but I'm getting ready to circle that leaves out vital context. Thank you, Chicago Mike. At what point do we call word salad? There's that too. We're again, we're only 2 minutes in.
Of an 11:45 second.
Yeah, I want to at least give her a chance to circle back and describe this.
And those things becoming something that actually protects. Something that warms.
Sure.
And something that has great meaning when given to another.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning?
So when I think of my pieces.
I don't want to think of your pieces, lady. I'm sorry. It's just not high on my list, but okay.
I see. At the time, I thought I was an imposter.
At the time of what?
The time.
The time.
The time.
Oh, God, it's giving me a headache. Just like, God dang it.
Sky, what did you understand? It's the time. The time. You should understand what this arbitrary time nonsense is.
I almost feel like she uploaded this video 5 minutes too late. Like she was talking minutes before this about something.
We missed the whole introduction. You're right. Yeah. Let's go back.
No, we're not going to go back. Even if Lexi Mad shows up right now, I'm not going back.
Because there was one half of me that I was, as a child, I was very, I was a great student. I was very obedient. I wanted to make others happy.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. That is a childhood or family anecdote, if nothing else. So I'm going to circle free space and childhood or family anecdote on the bingo card. What was that?
What would make me happy, Scribe?
What's that?
She got to the point.
Yeah, well, oh boy. Thank you, Pecoraro, Driving 8 Man again, because it's 2015.
What have I been sucked into?
I didn't say... Okay, I'm not going to go there. That's just asking for problems.
I went off to the military right out of high school.
Okay.
I excelled.
All right.
In my military career.
Good for you.
I attained my first degree.
Yeah.
Criminal justice.
Okay.
Oh, that's the most useful.
I then got a very successful job within the government.
Okay.
I moved around a lot in those jobs, but I was always, again, successful in every position that I took.
Okay.
I got a second degree.
Is this a humble brag? Where we
gender studies?
Okay. You know what? If I have to take it back, I'll take it back, but I'm circling leaves out vital context because just nothing she said so far has made any sense whatsoever.
There is our thesis statement.
And yeah, I'm also going to circle word salad because she is so wandering off into La La Land.
But don't you understand? The quilt, Scribe, the quilt. The quilt of life. It is relevant.
The quilt of life. It's made of her pieces.
Ooh.
No, never mind. That sounds like something out of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Honestly.
That's made of her pieces.
I like this.
In criminology.
Okay.
And then I started to really dive deep into volunteer work. And I started to volunteer for youth organizations, doing grief counseling for kids.
Okay.
Becoming a mentor.
That's great.
And again, everywhere that I went.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I was very successful in this.
So forward speaking.
So you felt like an imposter. You were successful at everything you ever tried to do, and yet you didn't believe that you were good enough. Okay, well, it sounds like you got some self-image issues, self-worth issues. I'm assuming you've overcome those. What does any of this have to do with disruptive leadership and rebels? Thank you for calling Driving 8 Man. Criminal justice degree in justice. Call her the Vulture. I don't want to. Do I have to? Thank you, Gino Marino. This is the best way to spend my 24th birthday. It's your 24th birthday.
Oh, what does that mean? What I think it means?
Well, I don't usually sing birthday songs on here. We usually do it on Lords of the Night. Gino, are you going to be around for the show tonight? Because if you are, I'll make a note. We'll sing to you. If you're not, I might have to sing to you here.
I would be happy to help.
is this something that we should do now, or are you good for having an official monkey happy birthday song as well tonight? With
aren't I just as good? Aren't I enough, Scribe?
Oh, you're more than enough.
Oh,
you're at least a handful or two.
Hey, I know.
But anyway, let's sing happy birthday to Gino. Just
okay.
All right, and a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. This is me doing Satsu. Happy birthday, dear Gino Marino. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Gino, and I'll make sure that we do that tonight as well on Lords of the Night. If you guys don't know what Lords of the Night is, well, you'll just have to go over to Monkey's channel, Ranting Monkey's channel, at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. I'll say that again before the show's out. But anyway. Okay, so anyway, she did everything, and everything that she did, she was successful, and she has low self-esteem.
She did every little thing, and it still wasn't all right.
Wow, there you go. All right.
A lot. I learned a lot.
Well, let me back up a little bit. I cut her off. Let's see.
Right. Okay.
I was very successful in this.
Yes.
I grew a lot. I learned a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Most of that your hair?
I started to do a lot of self-work.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Started to dive real deep into what was, where did my beliefs come from?
You're doing a lot of deep diving. Do you have scuba gear for this kind of thoughts? Or?
I'm not seeing a whole lot of point making, but I am seeing a lot of talking.
How do I love myself?
I don't want to imagine, honestly, but that's
how do I become the best version that I'm wanting to be in the world?
I guess grow out your hair and then have the sides shaved off.
That's a lot of hairspray, though. Think about the amount of product that is keeping that afloat.
Where are we going, lady? Seriously, all jokes aside, this is.
Now, all of these things were pieces.
Yes.
That from the outside looking in, others saw them as success.
Sure.
And they saw me as success.
But on the inside, you were struggling. You were at war with yourself over your self-worth and your self-image and your self-esteem. And you're not unique. I mean, I'm guessing. I am jumping ahead here, if maybe, because I haven't watched this, but I'm guessing she's going to tell us, but on the inside. And what does this have to do with disruptive leadership or being a rebel leader? I don't know, but I'm becoming irritated. Get to the point, please.
But when I say that I felt like an imposter, it's because there was a whole other set of pieces that others probably didn't really know about.
Imagine that.
And those were the pieces that I was judging myself over. Those were the pieces I was giving most of my attention to. And that was, as a child, never feeling like I belonged anywhere that I went.
It's the hair.
You think it's the hair?
I think it's the hair and the nose.
You never belonged where you went because I'm going to guess it's either... I'm going to guess it's either a combination of gender identity and or racial identity. I'm guessing. If she even tells us, because so far, every time she's brought up something, she hasn't clarified a thing. Thank you, Jake Tungsteth. I'm picturing Scribe standing in a cake with a Marilyn Monroe wig on while singing Happy Birthday. Jake, whatever floats your boat. But thank you for the donation.
Some interesting fantasies the chat has.
Yeah. I'll have to... Maybe that's a Photoshop thumbnail I'll do sometime. I'll put the Scribe avatar on Marilyn Monroe's head somehow.
I'm ready for it.
I can imagine so.
My military career, that was great.
Yeah.
But I judged myself for not finishing 20 years, that I actually left early.
Why'd you leave early?
And I left feeling unbelonging from that space as well during the days of Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
Okay, so maybe it's orientation. I said gender identity, but it also might be orientation.
Maybe she is really an it.
So wait, you left because of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, or you were removed because of what? I
am confused. Need more detail.
Yeah, need details. Okay, let's, just for the sake of covering the card real quick, let's go to the bingo card and see if anything else falls into place. Marginalization. Not yet. She needs to give us more details. A lot of these squares, I'm going to say, needs more details. Collectivize his own demographic. Again, she hasn't talked about it. Feminism, no. Microaggressions, unconscious bias. She's intimated it, but
she hasn't really said much of anything.
Yeah. Anecdote that probably never happened. I can believe she left the military early. There's nothing that makes me think that's too perfect an event to fit. So, contradicts own point or argument. We'd have to have one first. Diversity inclusion, no. Attempt to coin new buzzword, buzz phrase, not verbally yet. Plays victim. I'm getting close to circling that one, but she needs to tell us what the hell's going on. Mind reading assumes motives. She needs to talk about benevolent condescension. No. A list, not yet. Patriarchy, no. Wage gap, no. Systemic institutional, no. Privilege, no. Self-vilification or wretchedness. Maybe, I don't know. Equity, no. Weightless example. She needs to give us I need an example, but first I need an argument. She hasn't given us that. Make something about race, sex, etc. for no reason. She hasn't yet. White supremacy, no. Okay, so we're all just waiting with bated breath for her to give us something. Anything to cling onto in whatever she's talking about here. Okay.
My 2 degrees that I was very proud of,
I
wasn't using them in any way, shape, or form. So I felt like I had wasted money and time.
Well, welcome to the wonderful world. I mean, I've got an English degree, and no job that I've had since college has directly anything to do with knowing how to read or write or compose things or whatever else. That's just life sometimes.
Big time oof.
Yeah. I mean, some people, they have a direction, they know exactly what they want to take their degree into or what kind of career they want to pursue. But a lot of people don't. I knew a guy who spent his entire educational career learning to become a electrical engineer. And then he actually got out in the working world, found he didn't like it. And then one day he was just randomly at a photography studio for a family thing or something. And he took up photography and became a professional photographer. And he loved it. Had nothing, absolutely nothing to do with his degree. He could have spent his entire college career learning about, composition and art and all that kind of stuff. And maybe it would have helped that out. But hey, he knows how to light.
Yeah.
That was one thing. But yeah, okay. Lady, where are we going, lady?
My jobs that I was being so successful at, I was unfulfilled.
Oh.
And I was moving every year to 2 years into a new position just to keep myself engaged.
Wow.
She sounds like she has just one of those problems finding her identity. This didn't have to be a TED Talk. I don't think.
Yeah, and this is kind of the thing with some of these pandemic TED Talks. It seems to be happening more often now than it did previously. At least the ones that I've looked at, is that a lot of these end up being like looking inside someone's mind as they do a one-person play of their own thoughts, rather than something that's like on point about something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you were good at everything, and you felt like you were pretending because it came to you so easy. Didn't feel like you were earning anything. Okay, all right. And then?
I was 2 divorces in at this point.
Wow.
With no children.
Okay.
Maybe having children will help you find your way.
Yeah, obviously what she needs is a child to complete her life of absolute success, but no happiness.
Maybe not a biological offspring. Because I wouldn't want to impart my nose onto any of those children.
You are body shaming, Weebo.
Yeah, and
I don't know. I just heard that women aren't supposed to do that.
Maybe rhinoplasty is the thing that she needs to do in order to naturalize. Maybe that's what she's missing in her life.
Holy cats.
And one of my darkest pieces that many didn't know about when they saw success on the outside was that I was battling the story of addiction the whole time.
What were you addicted to?
With alcohol.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to numb the failure I felt from not understanding how these pieces went together. What was I doing with my life?
I don't know. And we're about halfway through your talk, and nothing you've talked about has had to do with leadership. You've mentioned the word rebel once so far. And again, I'm not necessarily saying the title of the video on the YouTube channel is the title that she gave it, because TEDx and TED have a tendency to alter those. But what are we doing? Is this a pity party? What's the point?
Why did I have this internal knowing that I'm here to do something special, something really great?
I don't know.
And I felt like I was losing that battle. I was not meeting that need.
Okay.
And I would probably still be in that moment today.
Except?
If it wasn't for the fact that I just would not give up on seeking some sort of meaning.
Okay, you're a hero, you're a survivor, pat yourself on the back, lift yourself up if you need to. I get it. You know, everybody struggles with stuff and then they have to find their place in the world or whatever. So what?
I wonder if she's tried climbing a Tibetan mountain yet. You know, achieving enlightenment might bring her that much closer to that actualization that she is so desperately craving.
I thought that she was gonna, for a minute there, I thought, okay, she was in the military and she focused on criminal justice. And I thought, okay, so maybe she became a defense attorney or something to like help other people or try to balance the scales or something. I thought maybe that's where that was going, but nothing so far. Okay.
And that was when I started to look back and I started to see that there was a thread going on here.
A thread? A quilt? Pieces?
Oh, I'm sad that we haven't brought back the windows and doors analogy, but you know what? It's fine.
That the one thing that brought all my pieces together.
Yes, the thread.
Was.
Yes.
The fact that I never belonged. I was a disruptor in every space that I went to, whether I meant to be one or not.
Okay, first mention of the word disrupt.
What does that even mean, though?
I don't know. So you never felt like you belonged, but you're taking pride in the fact that you were a disruptor everywhere you went. So you're lamenting not fitting in, but now you're taking not fitting in as a beneficial character trait. Which is it? I mean, don't get me wrong. You find strengths where you can, you find your silver linings where you can, and so on and so forth. Okay. She seems to be starting to get towards maybe explaining stuff over halfway through her talk.
If this was an essay, it'd be an absolute D-.
I think that's partially why I get so like irritated with some of these things, is that the way that my mind works, I'm listening to what people are saying, and it's like, does it flow as an argument, as a presentation? Do you have an opening, a middle, an end, and so on? And if they don't have that structure, my brain keeps trying to put the pieces together, even though I'm not being provided that, and it just can't make the connections.
Well, Scribe, you're not far off. Most people, they look at an argument, or the way that an argument should be structured is from like, make your original statement, give your supporting evidence, and then, you know, refute any alternative perspectives that might come up as a result of the arguments, and then restate your thesis statement, the argument that you're making, and hopefully it's gotten across, or definitely should have gotten across. But this is all over the place. She started off with the creative writing approach of let's hook them with an ambiguous opening.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't work when you're trying to do a TED Talk, or it shouldn't work when you're trying to do a TED Talk. Sorry, guys, but no.
it would help if we thought from everything so far that she was actually trying to build towards something, but we haven't even gotten that notion yet. It's just been, my life is a successful sob story.
Woe is me.
Woe is me. Okay, and all right, so you've built up over half of your talk to this. Please tell me there's at least something we can talk about.
I'll take first world problems for 500, Alex.
Oh, too soon, Weebo. R.I.P. Alex Trebek.
Is it too soon? Is it ever too soon? I'm personally of the mindset that it's only too soon if it's like 5 minutes before.
I'll keep that rule in mind.
Okay. Okay.
And when I say disruptor, it was never a bad thing. I was always bringing in new ideas, new perspectives, creative perspectives.
Except that it made you not belong. So which was it?
New ideas and creative ideas and new perspectives and creative perspectives are not always a good thing. Progressiveness for the sake of progressiveness is not always a good thing.
She's painting the sad Mary Sue. Everything I did, I was a success at. Everything I did, I brought a new idea, a new perspective. But I was so sad. Okay. Do you or do you not have a self-esteem issue? Because I'm not quite sure about anything right now.
I was a breath of fresh air in most spaces that I went into.
Says you.
Well,
I didn't feel like
she was. Look at that honker. Breath of fresh air. Come on.
You are really nose-centric on this one.
Have you seen it? Are you looking at what I'm looking at? I cannot. It's right there.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. Maybe it's because I myself have a rather majestic nose that it doesn't really bother me so much. I mean, the whole presentation is just what?
Well, okay, so I think part of the reason why it's so glaringly obvious to me is because of the shoddy green screen. Everything about her is just kind of shoved even more in my face. Like if she was just on a stage with some distance between her and the camera, it wouldn't be that big a deal.
Okay.
But this is the centerfold, like focus of the whole everything.
Like I belong to them.
Yeah.
And maybe that's because I was never meant to.
What?
Because I needed to bring the non-belonging.
Wait, her hand disappeared. Did her hand just disappear just then?
It happens with green screen sometimes. I
know. It was just really okay. I want to back up just because I want to hear that again from the start, because I am trying to understand, even if it is bewildering.
And maybe that's because I was never meant to. Because I needed to bring the non-belonging into the space.
I needed to bring the non-belonging. Okay, a word salad. Did I already circle word salad?
Yes, you did.
I already circled word salad. Thank you, Chicago Mike. Weebo, I'm more distracted by the Don King hair. That's not, I mean, that is a awfully, that's much more like coofed.
That is some volume.
Well, yeah, Don King hair would be like straight up and spiky kind of thing. She's very like got it sort of like a giant mohawk. It's a moorhawk kind of thing. If you see her turn her head to the side. Oh, okay.
And open up opportunity.
What?
The other thread I started to see is this thread of being able to radically love. And that meant that I stand on the ground that every single human being on this earth is lovable, whether I understand their views or their belief systems or why they did what they did or not.
Lovable?
You're very accommodating, because there are some people out there who are just terrible.
I'm like, I'm.
What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
I don't know, but I am of the opinion that, you know, people deserve some amount of like sympathy or empathy, but
sure,
like to be lovable on that level. I
mean, yeah, basic human decency and kindness and so on and so forth, unless you're given a reason otherwise. Yeah, sure, okay. And there are different things to appreciate about different people. Sure, okay. What does that have to do with anything? If she keeps on like this, this might end up being the third recipient of the WTF TEDx award, where like nothing about the presentation made any sense ultimately, or was just so frustrating that it doesn't even count as a presentation. We had 2 of those so far. The first was Chromosome Lady. The second was not that long ago. It was Well-Being Guy. She might end up being the third if she doesn't get somewhere pretty quick.
And when I was able to see those 2 threads, suddenly those degrees, suddenly my military career, my government career, all the work that I did to finally propel myself to leave and start my own business and become a leadership coach.
Oh, well, this is new. You're a leadership coach. You started your own business.
I wouldn't hire her.
Not after this. No, you can't even. You couldn't lead a 2-car parade with this talk. Come on.
Nope. And a workshop facilitator and my own owner of my own business. All of it suddenly started to make sense. And I was finally ready to put together my finished quilt.
So where you stand before us right now is the completed quilt. You are the perfect version of yourself. Is that it?
I guess.
What is that quilt?
I don't know. What is that quilt?
Is she going to show us
the change that I've always wanted to see in the world.
Be the change that you want to see. Really?
7 minutes in, and is that our thesis statement?
No, I don't know. Be the change you want to see is the kind of phrase that is sort of, it's older than dirt. It took you that long to figure that out?
I'm so sad we didn't get to see a quilt.
Or maybe she's like, if she was wearing one, or like cut to a picture of one, like she made her own quilt to represent her journey. I mean, now that could be the basis for at least a talk with a structure. If you started out with saying, look at this quilt without any context, and then go, let's go over how it was built. And then you start with square one and go like that. That might be an interesting way to sort of do a presentation about your journey or something like that. It might be. But I'm making up a better talk than our speaker is providing us. So.
You try.
I try.
It's standing here in front of you as a rebel leader and claiming that title with pride.
What? How are you a rebel leader? You need to define what you're talking about. What makes you a rebel leader? How are you rebellious? Well, if it's a fashion rebel, then maybe. Thank you, Logan. Anyone can own their own business. Forming an LLC is inexpensive. Doesn't mean anything. Yeah, no, I'm not impressed by somebody saying I'm a business owner. It's like, okay, business of what? It's like somebody saying or coming out on stage and they're a doctor. I'm like, a doctor of what? You have a PhD in what? These things are meaningless until they're given some context. And this is the lady who like lives in a world of no context. Insofar as this presentation is concerned.
What are you talking about? We got her whole life story to build a quilt.
Okay.
To lead to this, and it just fell short.
She's a rebel leader. Okay, how are you a rebel leader? Please, you're in the military. You either left or unfairly got kicked out because of don't ask, don't tell. I don't know which. You didn't really say.
She's breaking ground in.
We're breaking new ground.
Story.
Okay.
TED Talk.
And calling out all the other rebel leaders across the world. Because it's my belief that it is time for change in leadership in this world.
Okay. Okay. Well, now that we're 8 minutes into an 11-minute presentation, you need to define what is current and or classic leadership. Then you need to define how you are a rebel for that leadership so we can compare and contrast your claim of normal status quo versus your theory to improve and or disrupt. If you do not do these two things in the next 4 minutes, you have failed. This is the first time in your life you will have failed. Everything else you've been a success in, you've told us. Everything. You will have failed at TEDx if you do not at least define those two things in the next 4 minutes. Okay? So I am very happy to be present for your first life failure, given everything else prior to this.
Scribe,
if you don't
threatening me with a good time.
Well, it is my habit. Thank you, Chicago Mike. She's Luke Skywalker or James Dean. I don't know which one she is yet. She hasn't told us. She needs to tell us. What is she a rebel? What is she rebelling against? She needs to tell us the tower.
Leadership. She is rebelling against leadership. She is
I'll tell you what.
Rebel leader against leadership.
If she's rebelling against, like, a friend of mine a long time ago defined for me what leadership is at its very core. It's authority and initiative.
Yeah.
If you have those two things in any particular situation, you have leadership qualities or you can be a leader. Okay, so in my mind, if she tells me nothing else, my idea of leadership is, given the situation, authority and initiative. You take control and you take the actions necessary to, lead something somewhere. Okay. So what is your rebellious theory to that? If you don't tell me anything else, you got 4 minutes.
We need leaders who are willing to break the rules, because let's be honest, many of these games were never created for us to win or maybe even have a chance to play them.
What game? Explain yourself.
Thank you, Dark Resurrect. Howdy, Scribbles and Weebo. Did y'all have a good Christmas? All the ATMs and card readers in Tennessee are down due to the bombing. AT&T ran all of them. Wow. Ooh. Now, see, I've been curious, for those of you listening in the future, on Christmas morning, there was a car bombing, an RV bombing in the middle of Nashville, Tennessee, in front of an AT&T communications center. And it seemed awfully deliberate, obviously, that it would be parked in front of that place and so on, because it was a planned deal. I've been wondering if that was the intent, to try to disrupt the system or do a whole Fight Club kind of thing. But
it's a long game for someone to get their PS5, obviously.
Wow, that is a deep cut. Let's see. Dr. Q says systemic. Did she say systems? Did I miss it? Because I'm clouded. Let me back up a little bit just to.
Maybe.
Okay.
We need leaders who are willing to break the rules, because let's be honest, many of these games were never created for us to win or maybe even have a chance to play them.
No.
It sounds like maybe she's referencing the system, because she's talking about games and stuff, but
let's give it a minute. I mean, at the end of the show, we'll go over the aggregate of anything else that she might have been getting to, but not specifically mentioning. Let's see. Dark Resurrect scribe, the running motive is that the person wanted chaos and fear. Well, I mean, it was a terrorist attack, whatever else the specific intention might have been. So it did do that. But that's a whole other story. We'll probably talk about it on The Lords of the Night tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern on the Ranting Monkeys channel. That's my second plug. Usually I only do one plug for Lords of the Night in the show, but it seemed reasonable to do it twice now. There'll be a third one at the end of the show, guys.
It's time for something new.
Like what? What's the old?
Now, your revolution, your...
Oh, okay. There it is. Buzzword, buzz phrase. She said it. I am totally going to circle it. Buzzword, buzz phrase. Revolution. Again, you are on the verge of failing for the first time in your adult life, or otherwise, or I guess in your whole life, because even as a kid, you brought a fresh perspective. And
she was a big deal. We get it.
What is established leadership? What are you bringing to the table that disrupts it? What is an alternative version of leadership? If you don't tell us what those things are, you failed.
Rebelness might look very different than mine. It doesn't have to be my story.
No, it has to be your story. You're the presenter. You are telling us your theory on leadership. If we've done nothing else in the last 8 minutes, it's listen to your story, presumably leading up to a point. Now, I don't know if you can achieve a point with the way your hair is coiffured, but you gotta come on, really, just.
She's almost there. She has to make the leap.
Your threads are likely to be something very different.
There's all different people.
Reference again.
We're all different people. If you were going to make the quilt the centerpiece of your talk, you really should have had a quilt there, or use the quilt as the structure or something. Okay.
But to even know where to start, You got to be willing to ask yourself the question.
What's the question?
What's an area that's longing for disruption within you?
I could say something just now, but it'd be a little bit off color, so to speak.
Yeah.
An area of disruption within me. What does that mean?
What change are you looking to see in yourself? Maybe.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, so if you're in a rut, if you're in a routine, what is something? Identify your rut that needs to be disrupted because you're not happy with. Okay, all right. You know what? Fine. Okay, and then what are you talking about? What does that have to do with leadership? What is this? Is this your life coach sample?
Yes.
Now mine was
the
freedom to stand in who I am unapologetically.
Who are you?
Okay, so you came to terms with liking yourself. All right, self-esteem, self-image, self-love, whether it's chafing or otherwise. Okay, great. You finally achieved a sense of self where you're happy with yourself. Good for you. Great.
Go for you, Glen Coco. Go for you.
I assume you would have to in order to go out in public with that hairstyle. Okay, great. I'm happy for you. Not everybody gets there. I'll assume, without any evidence to the contrary, that you've achieved this place of personal enlightenment. Great. Okay. And then?
To dare to live my life for me.
Okay. Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Is that what she's been doing her entire life already, though?
She was a success at everything.
Exactly. Like, she literally has no one. She is divorced twice. She has no kids. Presumably, she doesn't do shit jack diddly squat for her parents, so...
I mean, she chose to go in the military. She chose to pursue criminal justice. She chose to start serving in public service or as a mentor. She chose to start her own business. It seems like she has directed her own fate from point A to point Z so far. And somehow, okay, her self-esteem issues always sort of dulled the shine on all of that. But now she's accepted herself. Okay, so what?
Now, once you have that area of disruption, it's helpful to sit down and to imagine, if I were living my life in this way, if I dare to disrupt in this space.
What
would that mean?
I don't know. I've spent 9 minutes waiting for meeting. Jesus.
Scribe, can I interject here for a sec?
Oh, by all means.
So Chicago Mike, thank you for your donation to the Streamlabs. Merry Christmas, Weebs. Thank you. Merry Christmas yourself. Okay, that was all I had to say. I think you needed a break, so.
There's only 3 minutes left.
There's only 3 minutes left, Scribe. You can do it. I believe in you. Defy the rebellion thoughts in your own head about quitting now.
You know, if I was a wiser man, I'd disrupt my tendency to have to watch these things.
It's okay. Your pain is our gain.
Does that make me Jesus?
Like
a tiny little sort of savior.
I'll give it to you.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Weebo gave me Jesus, everybody.
What are the thoughts that show up?
What are the thoughts? I would love if some thoughts showed up at my door. That would at least make my afternoon much more interesting.
Wait. How are we spelling thoughts in this context?
You know what? I'll take the ambiguity, whatever.
All right.
And some of those thoughts might be, this is selfish. I can't do this.
Uh-huh.
Another thought might be, I might make others angry. Or what if others don't approve?
Yeah. You have made Scribe angry.
Yeah, I could be paranoid and self-conscious. Yeah, no, I get that. Okay.
Thought might be, what if I'm not good enough and what if I fail?
Yes, the driving forces behind every human being who's ever attempted anything before with any self-doubt. Yeah, thanks.
Groundbreaking stuff, man.
I know you're really tapping into an unseen pulse of humanity here. You run your own business, do you? Okay.
Earth-shattering.
Start to sit with those beliefs and thoughts.
I don't have a choice. If I believe them, if I have them, they're already there. Now, maybe I'm standing at the time, but at any point I decide to put my keister down on something. Oh my God, I'm sitting with those thoughts.
You gotta sit with them, Scribe. Don't you understand?
Jesus.
And then ask yourself,
yes,
what's the cost if I don't?
Scribe, what does it cost?
What's the cost if I don't sit with those thoughts?
Yeah, what's the cost?
What does that mean? Like just okay. So I should sit. So I'm sitting there and I'm having these thoughts of self-doubt. Okay. And lack of self-esteem and everything I'm going to try to do is failure. Okay. What is the cost of sitting there without those thoughts? Well, what do you mean by cost? You mean monetary? There's no monetary cost. I mean, unless there's like something involved with my job or something. Anyway, you're right. If I could just flip a switch and turn off all self-doubt and all self-recrimination and all self-deprecation and just live completely positive, optimistic forever and ever, by golly, don't you think I would have done that by now?
Scribe, have you done that?
Yeah, it was called therapy and then medication. Thank you, Matt Barnes. The mighty Casey has struck out at explaining who she is or what she means. Yes, Casey at bat has struck out.
We still have like a minute left.
Yeah, maybe she'll pull it out of the fire in the last minute.
We can still come back from this.
I don't know. Are you going to speak?
And then I want you to start to do the work.
The work. Okay, what is the work? Tell me, what is the work? Because, I mean, what if you just sat there and didn't have these thoughts? Okay, what's the work?
And that could be getting a coach. It could be getting a mentor.
Like you?
Like her.
Like your business? Like, here's my card?
It could be finding a program that's going to help you explore.
Like her business.
It might be just taking the first step.
Into a bordello? What are you talking about?
A mushroom?
I don't know. No, not a portobello.
Oh, what's a bordello? Can you explain?
What, you don't know what a bordello is?
No.
It's a whorehouse.
Oh.
You thought I was talking about a flavorful mushroom.
Well, yes.
All right. Well, now we need someone to create an image of a whorehouse that's actually built inside of a portobello mushroom. And it's just called the Portobello.
I'm ready.
With Weebo as the madam.
Yes!
Weebo Jones, madam of the Portobello.
I want to wrangle the hose.
The house of sins. Maybe you know what?
The house
I'm gonna add to the Moonbase lore right now. Okay. Here's what happened, guys. Sir Adamantine's House of Celestial Sins in Crater Valley on the moon has a new competitor. The lady Weebo Jones has arrived in town with her own business opportunity. She builds the Portobello, a mushroom-shaped cat house, to compete directly with the House of Celestial Sins.
Mm-hmm.
This will inevitably start a kind of war, potentially a deadly war on the moon between these two establishments as they vie for control of the lusts of the lunar landscape.
We will soon see who is the greatest pimp on the moon base.
Get ready for Moon Poon 3, Battle of the Bordellos.
I love this.
for those of you who have stayed with Lords of the Night for many years and myself otherwise, you will get all of that. And congratulations if you do. Also, my sympathies if you do. All right, we're almost done.
Creating an LLC. Go and asking a business partner to join business with you.
If I already had a business partner, why wouldn't I already have a business with them? Sorry.
Taking a class.
Taking a class.
Whatever it is for you.
Yeah, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. A class, yeah.
Find the way to do the work.
Oh, you know what? I just did it. I just found the way. My entire life of problems and self-doubts and everything. Yeah, boy, oh boy, lady, you really you have exorcised the demons. Holy cats.
Exorcise the demons.
And I want you to sit with that list.
A list?
Okay, list.
I'll take any silver lining. I've circled a list just because she said it. A list. She actually said the words. Okay.
And start to work through those belief systems.
What?
Question them.
What?
Ask if they're true.
If I had any, okay, if I have self-doubt, but I doubted they were true, I wouldn't have self-doubt. Good Christ.
Let's go back to talking about bordellos again.
Oh, that was much more interesting, wasn't it? I created a far more interesting presentation talking about the lore of Moonbase. Yeah.
Kudos to you.
I like telling stories sometimes.
And dare to be willing to put something in the replacement of it.
Wait, Mike R says systemic. Did she say systemic? Did I miss that? Mm-hmm. Let me back up. I'm going back and okay.
To join business with you.
Yes.
Taking a class.
Yeah.
Whatever it is for you. Find the way to do the work.
Uh-huh.
And I want you to sit with that list and start to work through those belief systems.
Oh, systems.
Of belief.
Oh, see, systemic institutional. Oh.
Guys, we still have a minute left to bring this back. I think she can do it.
Let's at least get, I want to get this over with, then we'll go over the card. Sorry, guys.
Question them. Yeah. Ask if they're true.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Do it.
And dare to be willing to put something in the replacement of it.
What?
I don't like the way she
dare to be.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
If I doubted my self-doubts were true, then the replacement is the lack of self-doubt. What?
Don't worry about it.
And one of the last things I want to.
Okay, one of the last things you want to
ask you to do in this journey.
Yeah.
Is to find a community and a support group. Mm-hmm. That's going to want this for you.
What exactly? I lost the plot. I'm not sure I really ever had it, though.
She never... Okay.
This is not something to be done alone.
Oh.
We are meant to come together.
I'm
At a bordello? Probably. But ching!
Create change.
Yeah.
And as a rebel leader, that is no different.
What?
Why do I have to?
It is time for a revolution.
No.
Against what?
I don't wanna.
Have you actually felt the pull?
No.
To break free?
Go away.
The pull. You said okay. That sounded like a cult leader talking.
Have you felt the pull?
What's stopping you?
Have you felt the awakening?
You know what's stopping me? A lack of mousse in my hair, I think.
Did they install? Or
they've done this for several TEDx's where people have been, they put in the artificial cheering and clapping.
That's so cute.
There was at least one where they put an artificial laughing at a guy's joke. It was pretty bad. Okay. I mean, honestly, I am completely willing to just go for the third WTF award for this one, but let's go over the bingo card one last time. Let me put up onto the screen what I have so far. We will go over it, Weebo and I, once, and then we will go to you guys if you have any arguments for squares to be circled. So, marginalization. Okay, she brought up don't ask, don't tell, which was decidedly a policy that marginalized people.
I don't know if there was enough there for it to have been relevant, because it never affected her that she specified.
Cyber Grindle, thank you so much for the very I don't know, respectful Dog Cat Fox. He's like bowing.
Oh,
Dog Cat Fox, do you bow to people? Wowie, wow, wow. No, occasionally, if it's somebody he respects. Okay. All right. Marginalization, iffy. Collectivize his own demographic. She never actually gave a whole lot of information on herself. Like what? So no. She never talked about race or anything. Okay. Or gender or feminism. No. Microaggressions and conscious bias. I mean, she said I didn't belong anywhere I went, but she never clarified what that meant. Anecdote that probably never happened.
I believed all of the things that she was saying regarding her life.
I mean, she never gave us any reason to doubt, like her dropping out of the military or getting a business or this. Successful at everything she ever did. I mean, maybe I could disbelieve that, but I don't know what she was. Like I said, it's really difficult because usually the anecdote that probably never happened is my 5-year-old walked in the room and asked me, "Mom, why is Donald Trump a," that kind of thing. And
then everyone stood and clapped.
Right. Yeah, that kind of thing. Contradicts own point or argument. There never was one. I can't contradict what's not there. Diversity and inclusion. No. Plays victim. Yeah, I'm going to circle plays victim because it's like I didn't belong anywhere I went, but I was successful at everything.
She's a victim of her own bullshit.
Mind reading assumes motives. Not really, I guess. Benevolent condescension. She never really, I mean, maybe for herself.
This speech felt like a first draft, honestly.
Patriarchy, no. Wage gap, she never talked about. No. Systemic institutional. It's a stretch to circle that one, even though she said the word system, and usually that refers to like, something that's endemic to like whatever racism, sexism, or some belief system or something. And she's always talking about the self. Privilege, no. Self-vilification or wretchedness, yes. I will circle that one. It's not the same as plays victim because, she never belonged anywhere, etc. But this is her sort of talking about how she was flawed and terrible and all that. Equity, no. Weightless example. You have to give an argument to give a backing up example, and she never did. Make something about race, sex, etc. for no reason. She never, I mean, credit to her, I guess. She never brought up any of that stuff as an argument. White supremacy, no. Okay. I don't know. Okay, so that's where I'm at on the card, guys. I don't know that there's anything else left to circle except maybe the whole card as a WTF, what the hell did we just watch?
So is there like a separate graphic for...
No, I don't have a... I really need to... I haven't made... Because I figured it would only happen once in a blue moon, so it never occurred to me to make it. But yeah, I mean, the first one was Chromosome Lady. Chromosome Lady's speech was so... Yeah, I just circled the whole card. It's so frustrating. And then exceptional well-being guy or whatever made no sense. And this lady, yeah, she... Ryan R. Scribelight assumes motive. She said the game was rigged for no one to win, almost like the games was rigged from the start. Oh, God. Ryan always has to make a reference to Fallout New Vegas with that line.
I guess.
So I can't put him... I can't take him seriously.
But
let's see. Eric Grunstar, don't the games people play fall under systemic? No. Here's the thing, guys. I have no qualms whatsoever with just doing this because honestly, I don't see any reason not to. This is the third inductee into the WTF Hall of Fame of TEDXcellence. And in the absence, okay, and I gotta make sure that I get this recorded. Let's see, is that small enough to be seen? Okay, I gotta do it one more time. Sorry, I got to adjust the zoom on this so it gets into the full frame. Okay. in the absence of having a WTF alert noise, which I obviously have to make now, and just because I want to show off to Weebo my latest bingo thing. So in the place of a WTF alert, here you go.
Bingo.
What? Of course!
I love that you included Chunk in there.
Oh, have you heard the first one before?
I don't think so. Maybe?
Ooh, that's a bingo.
Right?
Yeah!
Yes, I did hear that one.
Okay. So
privileged. I get to hear all of the bingo stuff.
I got to make a WTF one now, because if we've had 2 in relative quick succession, I can only imagine that we're going to have more going down the line. But even if the next one doesn't come for a year or something, I got to have something there. So, guys, this is just, I really tried. You heard us. We tried really hard.
We struggled.
I feel bad. Like, I mean, I say it often. I honestly look at these things, A, because I figure they'll be funny, but B, because oftentimes I am honestly trying to understand the argument, even if I don't end up agreeing with it. I'm trying to at least have a notion of what is the latest zeitgeist, what is the latest theory on the fringe of things, because as we've seen often and more often, the theories on the fringe, you jump ahead a year or two, they become the mainstream. You know, thin privilege, white privilege. I'm still waiting for diversity debt to take hold, because they use that plenty of times. But like somebody else the other day, somebody said I did one on toxic positivity not too long ago. Somebody brought up the subject. Yeah, there was a TEDx talk about toxic positivity, and that goes to my theory of how you make your own TEDx talk. So I'll do this with Weebo. So I don't think I've done this with Weebo before. Weebo.
Okay.
Think of a lack of a better word, of a positive notion, like a word, an adjective, a concept, something that is just on its face a good thing or feeling or whatever. Just any abstract concept or specific thing.
You want me to tell it to you?
Yeah.
Warm blanket.
Okay, sure. Warm blanket. Okay, now do you want your TEDx talk to be in favor of this thing or against this thing?
Against it.
Okay. Toxic warm blanket. Now, reverse engineer that title and you've got yourself a TEDx talk. If you wanted to be in favor of that thing, you say radical warm blanket. Do the same. And there's your TEDx talk.
Okay, but don't you still have to like fill at least 11 minutes with nonsense?
Kind of. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Is like I did one called I made up my own TEDx talk. I've actually made a video of this, and it's called Malicious Tranquility. That was my TEDx talk, my theory. I made up that title. I thought of like what is a concept that is good, and I thought tranquility. Malicious tranquility. What is malicious tranquility? Well, you see, Weebo, malicious tranquility is when you feel at peace, but everyone else doesn't. Your sense of peacefulness is actually a detriment and a mark in your disfavor against all the people in the world that have no peace. And so in order to contend with this peaceful tranquility, in order to cleanse yourself of this sin you're committing, you must take steps to actually disrupt your own peaceful existence so you have some empathy for people that don't possess it. And so one of my pieces of advice was, in your home, you want to never wear shoes or socks and cover your floor in Legos. So as you try to navigate your own comfortable habitat, you feel the kind of disruption, the kind of chaos, the kind of pain and difficulty that everybody else feels who does not possess what you do. That is how you fight against malicious tranquility. And see, if I saw a TEDx talk that said malicious tranquility, I wouldn't be surprised. I totally believe that somebody put that together, and I could just imagine what it was. Anyway, so that's my theory about how to create a TEDx talk. You take some positive concept and decide whether you're for or against it, put toxic or radical in front of it, and then work backwards from there.
Okay, now I want to do a TED Talk just to have you react.
You should. Make your own TED Talk. Like if you got a green screen thing, do it exactly what this lady did. Make up your own. I mean, hell, that's all it takes now. You just have to have a green screen and make something up. So
I have a green screen, actually.
All right. Well, okay. Then you think I'll find a TEDx, like just backdrop or logo or something. Mm-hmm. You can probably find the thing that she did there. Yeah, no, I did as a mental exercise. Think of a positive word, concept, whatever else. Put in front of it either a bad or good modifier, and then reverse engineer that into a talk about how you would come back around to making a presentation about that. I challenge anybody in the chat. If you have a YouTube channel, if you don't have a YouTube channel, you've never done it before, give it a shot. I'll bet you dollars to donuts you'll be 500% fucking better than this shit.
Oof.
Anything you'd like to add before we wrap up, Weebo?
No, I think we're good.
Okay. Everyone, I apologize. This was painful. I hope you found it in some way, shape, or form entertaining. Maybe it, stirred your brain a little bit to know what not to look for in a good presentation in the future. I don't know. If there's a silver lining to this, if there's some way that you can rebel against the status quo of just taking this as nonsense, I hope it occurs to you, because I'm going to have a hard time.
Yeah.
But then I keep doing this to myself for some God knows reason. Anyway, Weebo on the now links to Weebo's YouTube channel and Twitter in the description below. Weebo, where can people find you next?
So I am working on another video. I don't know when it's going to be out, but it's hopefully going to be out before the new year or on the new year, I guess. Would be probably a good date to put it out. But Sunday I will be on my channel for Cocktail Hour with Polydub at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We have no idea what we're going to talk about because that's typically how these things go, but we usually have a good time. Like last week, we did a gender personality test.
Ooh.
That test that determines what your personality is. And I found out that I was casually masculine, to nobody's surprise. But I'm also 139% of a person because those percentages did not add up.
All right. Well, then, guys, if you'd like to join Weebo and Polly or any other of her videos or broadcasts, go check out Weebo's channel in the description below. Be sure to subscribe, hit the bell, all that fun stuff, and follow her on Twitter so you can find out what's coming up next for Weebo. If not her own TEDx talk or cocktail hour, perhaps Portobello. But with that, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. Really do appreciate it. Thank you, moderators, those of you in the chat who kept an eye on things, because God knows all of you are so well behaved. There's very little for you guys to do. Everyone who donated, thank you so much for your generosity, especially at this time of year, especially under these circumstances. I really do appreciate it. If you'd like to hear more from me or the Ranting Monkey or Satsu 2 Cents, here comes the third plug. You can find all three of us tonight on the Ranting Monkeys channel at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern for The Lords of the Night, where we will talk about the news of the day, news stories you submit, what we've been up to on the internet, and then your questions and comments. Again, everyone, thank you for joining us. I hope you are all safe and well. If you're not well, please get well soon. Weebo, thank you so much for joining me today on a short notice.
Well, thank you for having me.
I hope you enjoyed yourself.
I did. I always do. It's always a pleasure, Scribe.
I'm very happy to hear that. And everyone, I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.